Hi everybody, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the Twin Flame family. And I am posting your weekly energy update a little bit early this week. We are in the new moon in Cancer now, and if you've been watching my last videos and the midweek post that I made, I'm feeling really rapid shifts in energy as well as different revelations coming through. So I was guided to make this video for you with some important messages for both the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. And if you're looking to kind of clear blocks or work with me one-on-one, or you're feeling like this would be a good time for a Twin Flame reading, please book online at thetwinflamefamily.com, and you just click on schedule a session and you'll have my full schedule there. A lot of you are still writing me, emailing me, and I don't have access to my schedule, and sometimes I'm in session or on the road, and the best way that you can actually view my live schedule is just by clicking on schedule a session. So again, it's thetwinflamefamily.com. And last night we had a wonderful support group call, so thank you to those who joined in. I'm going to be holding those monthly throughout the summer, and I've been holding them for about a year now, so I'll make the announcement for July shortly. And it's just a great way to get community support and to be in the presence of like-minded individuals along the journey. And you're all beautiful, and thank you for joining me. So to the energy reading, so many of you in the past couple days and week, I've had a lot of inquiries about where do you identify, with the masculine or feminine, and I just want to clarify and say that we all have the divine masculine, divine energy, divine feminine energy within us. And the purpose of Twin Flames coming together in the sacred mirror with all the triggers and reactivity and all of that is to get those energies within balanced so that we can live a more harmonious life and fulfill a harmonious union in our relationships and our twin flame relationship. And most of us have been living out of balance for a very long time in terms of our inner divine feminine, divine masculine energies. And we may even be expressing one more predominantly that isn't actually authentically us. And we're expressing that energy predominantly because of our upbringing, our ancestral patterning, our familial beliefs, our core wounds, our past hurts, and all of those things have kind of sent us into one polarity or the other, and typically in not a balanced way. So let me remind you that with the divine masculine, divine feminine energies, that it doesn't matter if you're 50-50 or if you're 80-30 or 80-20 or 70-30. That has no bearing on anything. You can be in a feminine body or a female body and have 80% masculine energy and 20% feminine energy. It matters not. What matters is that you're expressing both energies in their authenticity and in healthy balance. I find that most of the female embodiments, or if you're identifying with a female gender, if you're identifying with the female gender, you probably are more authentically feminine than you know. That's what I've found in working with my clients. And if you're identifying with the male gender, you're probably more masculine than you know. The problem is that we haven't spent enough time reclaiming these traits and getting to know what they are and their authenticity, or what the divine feminine qualities are, or the divine masculine archetypes are. So once we get acquainted with those things, which I can help you do, then we can start trying on those qualities for size. And we may remember that a lot of those qualities resonate for us. We may have abandoned them our whole life, or maybe they conjure up this remembrance of who we were when we were a child, a small child, or we may just start recalling who we were at the soul level or in past lives, or like I said, it's the true self-remembrance is who we are at the soul level, connected to our divinity and our regality. And So balancing these energies is one, if not the most important thing for twin flames and for the ascension process. So if you are ignoring this piece of it or only looking at it in more black and white 3D sense, there is a whole nother, perspective that is, beckoning you to examine and to really, go inward with and learn more about, because it's through the education of what the feminine traits are and what the masculine traits are and what they are in a healthy balance and what they are in an unhealthy balance that will create the aha moments for you to be like, oh my God, I've so been in my false masculine. I'm so expressing this masculine stuff, but it's not really me. It's just the me who's hurt and wounded, who's defensive, who doesn't know how else to get her way, right? And so, and for many of the feminine, that is what happens. She takes her wounded warrior or wounded warrioress, and she goes into false masculine mode, which can be angry or aggressive or manipulative to get what she wants. When she's anchored in her true self, her true, authentic, divine feminine power, she doesn't need all of that. She can just hold her strength and hold her presence. And she can beckon into her what she wants. She trusts, she knows, she can call it in. She's not triggered or reactive. And so to get to the point of this whole video is that it's through balancing the energies that we're also able to shed the ego behaviors and the ego beliefs. Because what I just said was, by stepping into her divine feminine power, and, and the same with the masculine, by stepping up into his divine masculine power, the energy is balanced in such a way that we no longer need to be in ego behaviors or ego reactions or in ego beliefs. And it is the ego that keeps us in our false polarity, okay, or in the false unhealthy sense of the polarities. So if that's going over your head, let me say it in a different way. It is for example, how I was talking about the feminine, and if she had a hard upbringing or was with a survivor mother or a masculine father who didn't accept her, and she felt she had to become very independent, or she had to become the survivor, or nobody really loved or accepted her in the way that she wanted to. She may be moving through her life now in such a way where she's expressing a very false masculine energy, and these qualities could be expressed as, like I said, anger, defensiveness, tough girl act, and it is an act because the true strength of the feminine is rooted in a quiet strength, okay? Actually, all strength is quiet and calm, okay? It's still. It's grounded, it's rooted, it's strong, it's we can hold our ground, we can hold the line, we can hold everything here, and root through our solar plexus, or ground through our solar plexus, find that power from within through our power center, our inner knowing, our gut. Whereas when we're moving through our false masculine energy or false divine energy, let's just say, we're going to be in ego energy, and that is ego defensiveness. It's the extreme of the polarities. It's the forcefulness or the pushiness or the threatening or the demonstrative words or the aggressiveness. It's not just knowing what we want, lining up with it, and just being still, which is what the true divine feminine power is rooted in. And for the masculine, it's very similar. It's his strength and his ability to protect and provide and take action is also rooted in a very grounded place. It's not, forceful or pushy or oppressive. And also he has a whole feminine aspect that he can tap into that many of the divine masculine are pushing away or are afraid to go there. And so anyhow, talking more about this balancing act, balancing the polarities, it's really, really necessary to look at things this way. Because if you haven't looked at yourself in this light, what's feminine, what's masculine, what's authentically you, what's not, what's false, what beliefs have you been carrying around, what actions or behaviors are no longer serving you, that's where we uncover where we're stuck in our ego. And until we see that and gain that awareness, the ego cannot dissolve, okay? You're going to keep getting that ego reaction. That ego is going to keep coming in. And it is the ego that clouds the sacred mirror. And it's funny because I told this story on my support group call last night, but I was jogging yesterday and I was like really thinking about this message. I was downloading information so that I can express it to you now in this video. And I had the phrase came into my head of like fog and mirrors or cloudy mirrors and how the ego's clouding the mirror. And right as I was thinking it, this car drove by me. It was some sort of a commercial vehicle. And along the side of it, it said 2020 window cleaning. And I really chuckled because really think about that. 2020 is hindsight. 2020 is clarity. And window cleaning, as I was thinking about fogging up mirrors and clouding our perception, and how the ego does this in the sacred mirror. And remember that if you're hearing a lot of bullshit, from your twin, just try to rise above it and kind of see that it's ego bullshit, okay? It's definitely a lot of ego stuff that's clouding the vision. And I do feel like right now for the twin flames, it's a time of like non-action and non-reaction. So we don't need to take action right now. We need to just kind of go with the flow and let things be and let things breathe, because it's through that space and through that breath that the clarity will come, that the ego can relax, that we can begin to balance our energies, that we can go into joyful activities that feel good to us, that we can find our truth. It's definitely time to be quiet right now. And it doesn't mean still. It doesn't mean not to take action in your own life. I mean, you want to keep your mission going and your business going. I mean the action and the reaction between the twin flames. This is a time right now, I feel very much so, where, as I said, the masculine, he's coming forth. He's going in and out a little bit. He's going in and out of his ego. He's going into the dark, low vibrational behaviors, and he's coming into truth, and he's going back out. But he really needs some space to work this out, okay? And some time and some quiet time. And the feminine is feeling maybe pulled by that, pulled by the truth and the in and out, and she needs to just really know and rest assured that there's nothing she needs to do in this connection right now. There's nothing other than just being, other than just receiving, other than allowing the universe to orchestrate things for the twins, and knowing that there's a lot of energy and action that will follow when we get into the eclipse season in August. Is when the masculine is going to start to take more action towards his truth, and where the feminine will be, riding high more in her power, but also able to get to the next level, I feel like, because she's no longer in denial of some of the emotions that she's been, suppressing, or that she's disowned, or she's been bypassing some of these emotions. So when they come back up and smack her in the face, she's like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Am I picking up on my twin's energy? No, you're picking up on the stuff that you haven't been. I mean, you could be picking up on some of your twin flame stuff, but I really think for the feminine, you're picking up on the stuff that you haven't really dealt with, that you thought you did. So the way that we deal with this is by going within. And I do feel like I said, it's less of a time of action right now and more of a time of aligning with our authenticity, and letting things just play out, because they will find a balance outwardly as we balance ourselves from within. And if everything feels like I feel like there's a lot of feeling of injustice right now, like trying to make your twin flame see it clearly, and he's not, or she's not. And just know that allowing the stillness and the quiet to prevail will actually enable the truth to come forward. There's nothing you need to say or do to explain the truth to your partner or to explain the truth to someone else. You just know your truth and just be with it. And the more, I feel like, especially with the feminine and masculine, the more the feminine stays rooted in her truth, rooted in the knowing of what this is, and she's aware of what's bullshit. She's aware of what the ego's calling in. She's aware of her own ego defensiveness and her own things that she's been denying. But the more she stays in her truth, the more the masculine will receive glimmers of that as well. And he'll be able to step into his truth. And there's nothing you need to do to make the other person see it, okay? It's like you think that you need to take the proverbial like rag and wipe the mirror clean and be like, look, 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 now, can't you see? But you cannot convince the other person. You cannot wipe the mirror clean for them. It's up for them to wipe the fog. And that happens through dropping the ego and like dissolving the ego stuff. And that's not going to happen from a place of chaos. And it's not going to happen by forcing it on someone. It's not going to happen through action, I feel. It's right now, it's that the clarity, the mirror unfogging, the seeing the truth, the taking responsibility for ourselves is all going to happen through reconnecting with our inner power, going inward and being in our own truth, in allowing the other person to find that on their own. And knowing that you may find it at different rates of acceleration. I mean, you may find it really quickly. You may uncover the denied aspects very quickly. Whereas, your counterpart may take more time, may need more space, may need more reflection to get into truth, to drop the ego bullshit, to uncloud that foggy mirror. And again, it's the time and the space. This is all just, we're not on a linear timeline anyhow. So when you look at things and I feel like a lot of you are getting discouraged because you're not seeing it quickly enough, or you're not seeing your partner like come to that recognition in the same way that you are, or come to that same awakening in the same way you are. And that's getting you really frustrated. And the thing about it is that the more frustrated you get, the more you're going to strangle the energy. The more your partner will pick up on the pressure and the frustration. And it's just, this is an energetic connection. You have to remember that all relationships are, but especially the twin flames are so connected at an energetic level that if you're strangling it in the 3D, you're going to get a lot of that strangulation, pressure cooker type energy right back at you. It's going to be like a backlash, and it's going to send you more into ego, both of you. And we need to lift out of there and go into quiet stillness, inner reflection, working on ourselves, self-focus, and that's going to enable things to breathe. Think of the breath. Go back to your own breath. Take a deep breath and exhale. And know that that's what's needed in the space between you and your twin flame. So if you're in separation, or if you're doing a back and forth dance, or you're going into a separation, or you just need to take a step away, and you know that, you really know it, know that what exists in between this step away, this space, this in and out, is nothing more than a deep breath. It's like this. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's all that's needed and necessary to clear the energy We've got to clear this energy, okay, so that the foggy window and all the muck and yuck and all the ego bullshit can be cleansed, okay? So I didn't pull a spread this week, but I have my decks in front of me. Some of you ask what I use. I use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck and Doreen Virtue's Ascended Masters cards. I also have the Angel Therapy cards and Brian Weiss and I believe it's Doreen Virtue's Past Life cards, which I use as early life or often relevancy in the situation right now and shows me what's behind it. These are amazing cards. And I'm also using Joe Jason's Sacred Feminine cards. But anyhow, I was guided this week to just kind of pull cards as to affirm the messages. So I've shuffled and yeah, so for the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, it's showing that we're still kind of bound. This to me feels like that binding ourselves to the ego bullshit. The old patterns are still there. We've done a good job, especially the feminine, and with the masculine, he's learning how to break away from this. And this is the thing that's going to give way to the joy and also to the energy cleansing, is the taking the blinders off, being in our truth, knowing that it doesn't feel so yucky and mucky to be in our truth. It feels a lot worse. It feels like very hurtful. It feels mucky. It feels stuck when we are stuck to the old patterns, the ego ways, the ego beliefs. And this is going to be shifting. And it's, you know, this is the 8 of Swords, and it's showing me, again, this is in alignment with the 8th month, and I feel like this is related to August being a big shift for the twins. And I feel like this is both feminine and masculine, in us really becoming unbound and becoming even more rooted in our truth and grounded in our truth, so that we can start to break free and take action steps that lead to greater truth and happiness and joy. And again, this is that energy of walking away, but I don't feel like it's like how we typically feel when we see this card. When the 6 of Swords comes up, it's like we feel like, oh, like someone has just turned away, or somebody's leaving us, or one of the twins in the connection, you know, could be the feminine, could be the masculine, it has turned his or her back on the other. But I feel like this is more like the needed separation. It's more talking about this needing time for space. This doesn't feel to me like a leaving forever. It feels like you know, I'm going to go do my stuff. I'm going to go work on myself. I'm going to go find that clarity, because I can't find it standing right next to you right now. I can't find it while the sacred mirror is so foggy. Okay? And this is very much present energy. And so I feel the deepening of the separations, or the call for the stepping back, or the call for the separations, as very pivotal right now. It's very necessary. And I feel like it will give way to the potential for union and in August and for the months to follow in the fall and leading into 2018. Oops. So Page of Swords is coming up, and I actually picked up 2 by accident, and the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel as though this is very much about the masculine. It feels to me like this is a bit about balancing his masculine energy. It's about getting to a new level in his truth and his true divine masculine. It's about being a provider and moving towards like that, what he wants to create. And I mean, on like a like what his work is doing, and it's about cultivating, okay? And for him, it's about cultivating a more mature way of being. It's stepping up from the page and into the night. It's going from someone who may have been more emotionally reactive or abrasive or forceful and in getting what he wants, to knowing that it's more grounded and that he can just move towards it with like a very steady vision, and with hard work and alignment with his truth, it will come to be. And this is a big shift that's happening for the masculine. He's stepping up from that sort of page that he's graduating, okay? And he's going to be graduating over the next several months. And that graduation is going to give way to a more firm foundation for him, a foundation that he's been wanting to create. And it's the foundation that will start to enable him to take step towards the feminine. And I feel like it's working on his truth in his work life and his career, you know, creating the home or breaking away from the karmic relationship so that he can create the foundation that will set up the twins for union, for the potential of union. But he hasn't had the ability to create that foundation because he's been in almost his own false, unhealthy balance, masculine energy. He's been moving through life and creating things from a false sense of self. And he's now going to move through a bit differently he's getting ready to do this, to move through in a more grounded way, in a way that builds a foundation rather than just cuts through the muck or creates more chaos with the sword in his hand. I feel as though he's very much learning that his sword is also, it's also like a false sense of security for him. And it all has to do, it relates back to the ego bullshit that we, tell ourselves, whether it's the words that cut the other person, or our inability to take, responsibility for our own actions and behaviors, our inability to apologize, our inability to own up to our mistakes or our injustices. And he's coming into a place of just like letting that all go and letting it dissolve so that he can move forward with more truth. And he wants to build a foundation. Like I said, he wants to build a solid foundation. And he has the feminine, the divine feminine in mind, his twin flame in mind. So the Two of Wands is coming up, and this is about the feminine also expanding right now. And because of this, getting out of the denied aspects of herself and getting deeper into her truth, she's also seeing there are things that she wants to do and accomplish. She may want to go take a class or travel this summer. And it's saying it's a good time to do that because you're going to align with other high vibrational beings. And this is a time to not only nurture what's right in front of you, but also spread your wings, expand, and to go out there into the world and connect with others and share your gifts. And Stella thinks so as well because she's coming into our reading right now. Come on up, baby. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say, I just had to add some love to this reading, right? Yeah. So, just going to pull a couple of other cards for, sorry, Stella's going to walk right through our screen here for what is in line with what's happening underneath the situation. And we have a big tail on the screen. So, I feel as though the vows are coming up, and this is from the past life card. And the vows are coming up for the twins together, for the shared energy. This is about, I think, some of the messages I've been downloading are about like the pre-contracts that we've had. I don't know what you can see on the screen, but Stella's tail. Sweetie, it's time to get down, honey. We'll say goodbye to Mommy's audience. Okay, bye. It was nice to meet you all. She is funny, and I love when she comes into the readings. But the vows, I think she came in because she and I have a vow, okay? She and I had a pre-contract. There is no doubt in my mind that she and I are soulmates. Like, she's more human than she is feline, and it's uncanny how we're connected. And I recognized her when I found her. We found each other, and we recognized each other. She showed me, she did something. She responded to me in a way that it was immediate remembrance. It was immediate recognition. I knew we had to be together, and I knew that we were meant to, and I knew that I was meant to be her mummy, and she knew that. She felt that too, and so we have that. We have those soul contracts with our pets, with our family, with our soulmates, with everyone who's walking into our life. But we have to remember that we also have vows in the sacred marriage with our twin flame. And these vows, you know, as ugly and as clouded as the 3D can feel, that this is what is underneath it, are these vows, is this sacred marriage, is this commitment to our growth, our journey, and to the love, and to arriving at unconditional love. And knowing that you signed up for this dance with your twin, and you signed up to take this journey, and it's not being bestowed upon you. And some of you write me and you're like, I feel so tortured, and why, and I just want to give up, and you know, and that's not what this is about. This is, you chose this, and you're in a very sacred connection with a soul who could be bringing up, and is probably bringing up, all of your pain and all of your triggers and all of your wounds for clearing. And so that may feel torturous or treacherous, but it's here for your healing. And just know and trust that these vows are sacred, and that the connection and the bond can never be broken, okay? And no matter what happens in the 3D, you know, there is an amazing connection that transcends the space and time and all of the muck and yuck that you may be feeling. And so whenever you get, let's say, discouraged, go back to this, those sacred vows, that sacred contract. Okay? The spiritual marriage, the sacred marriage that connects the two of you. That you know, that your ego just wants to deny. And reaffirming that, yeah, they're saying especially retreat into nature. This is a good time of year. It is, you know, it's summer in North America or in the U.S. We are at least having some nicer weather where we can get outdoors no matter where you are in the country. And for many of you, this is needed, and it's needed. The green man's coming up to say, open your heart chakra. And this is very much about getting out of ego and going into our heart space. You know, taking down the heart armor is about, you know, going into the denied aspects, recognizing the love that we have in our heart that we've been denying. And what better way to connect with this and to ourselves than to be out in nature. So whether that's a nature walk or just sitting out in nature or doing things outdoors, it's going to help you open your heart chakra. And green being the color of the heart chakra. And things are green and lush right now, and it's time to be out there. I feel very guided for that. And Lakshmi's coming up with the flow of prosperity, and I very much feel like this is for both of the twins, focusing on what they need to do. It's for the masculine, creating what he wants to create to build the foundation that he's driving towards it now. He's starting to get in the car and drive towards this new destiny, I feel. And there's going to be flow and prosperity around it for him because it's in alignment for his truth. So the universe is going to come in and support him. And for the feminine, she's also getting further on her mission, and things are lining up for her, new opportunities and ways that she will feel supported along her mission and go, wow, I can actually make a living at this too. Or it could be an opportunity for her to make a lifestyle change, and that lifestyle change will put her deeper into her mission. And it may be scary or whatnot, but know that you are supported and that the fear is illusion. The flow is coming for you. Things are abundant, especially when we stay out of the low vibrational energies. And the bottom of the deck here is peace offering, okay? And the peace offering is, I felt guided to look at this, and the white buffalo calf woman is, you know, this is about when things are tumultuous, when there's turmoil, when there's frustration. The best way to break that frustration, I feel, is to energetically take a step back. And when you are able to re-enter in a more authentic, non-reactive way, it may be a good idea to make a peace offering to show that you have shifted energetically, that there is unconditional love. And I think especially for the feminine, know that your masculine counterpart will accept this peace offering well when it's time. And the reason why he'll accept it well is because he's really been needing your unconditional support. And when you come in and give it truly and purely, he's going to feel very accepted and very loved. And it's going to help heal actually his divine feminine aspect, especially the aspect that was wounded with his mother. And it's going to open up his heart space further. And so I feel like this isn't something that you have to like premeditate or preconceive. It's just something that you'll naturally gravitate towards when it's time to step forth, when you've realigned with yourself, and when you've taken a step back and got out of your ego, out of your activity, and out of needing or wanting from your twin flame. When the communication reopens, you'll be able to make a peace offering, whether that's loving words or some sort of a material object or service or something that you do. It will feel very organic and natural, not contrived, not preconceived, not manipulative. And it will be received very well. Okay? And you may even feel this reciprocated from the masculine twin, where he'll offer something as well. And it will help, like I've been talking about this cleansing the energy, it will help cleanse the energies between the both of you. So that you get, remember, one of the big messages too is that the past is the past. And the longer we hold on to the past, the more we hold ourselves back from receiving in the now and opening ourselves up to what's flowing towards us and what is possible in the future. So there's something about that that's like just seeing cleansing the energy is really about opening up to being in the now and letting go of the past. It's almost like could give way, and I think has the potential to give way to a new beginning for the twins. But holding on to the resentments and holding on to the grudges and holding on to the past hurts are not going to serve us, and they're not going to give way to that new beginning. And you know, the peace offering, I feel like, is coming up as a way to say, this is also when it's time, after you've taken the step away and let the breath come in between you, that breath can help us step forth when it's time with purity, with love, with service, with authenticity, with things that will create a cleansing of the energy so that we no longer need to hold on to the past hurts, to the grudges, to not only our past hurts from past relationships or stuff, you know, our stuff that we carry around, our baggage, but also really letting go of the past hurts directly with your twin flame and not bringing those back up as resentments or because it'll just cause further resistance in your relationship. And it's like you almost have to look at this with new eyes and as a new way of beginning. But we still have more work to do before we're going to get there. And throat chakra is coming up, which I've seen this a lot lately, and I've been hearing it a lot. This is about speaking your truth. And again, I feel like when those energies are cleared, when we can step forth, having taken that breath, that rest, that alignment with self, we'll be able to speak our truth much better. And this is for both the masculine and the feminine. You'll hear the truth coming forth from the masculine, divine feminine. In divine feminine, you'll be able to speak your truth much better. Okay? The break is needed. Trust it. The rest is needed. Trust it. And they're saying, listen, whoops, bottom of the deck is visualize success and listen to your intuitive feelings. Okay, so just trust, because a lot of you have said to me, I know it's necessary, or I know we need to take a break, or I know I need to step away, but why is it so hard to do? But they're saying just listen to that voice, trust that. It's just so scary for so many of you because it involves relinquishing control, you know, taking your hand off of the wheel and allowing the universe to orchestrate things for you. So I'm just going to pull one more card, and it's from the Divine Feminine deck, and it's Brigid is coming up, and she's the goddess of Ireland. And I'll read this, and this is for the Divine Feminine, those who identify with the Divine Feminine, as well as for the masculine who are, you know, getting reconnected with their divine energy from within. And Brigid is the third card in this deck. And she's saying, flow with your natural cycles, creativity, and healing. It's saying it's now time to allow natural change to occur. You may need to come to terms with a new stage in your life. And I really feel like this for the feminine, it's getting to the next level in your mission, in your truth. I feel like for the masculine, it's very much about a new beginning and a new way of being that's on its way, that he's moving towards. It says, do not resist. This needs to be accepted and embraced. Do not resist. Just allow, allow, allow. We all ride the cycles of life, flowing with them in their natural rhythm. Open space and breath for the universe to bequeath you with each cycle's lessons and blessings. And I think we've had a lot of lessons served up to us as an aside, and this is time to receive the blessings from it. But we can't receive it if we're clenching on so tight. We're needing things to happen. We'll receive those blessings and see the gifts and allow for the gifts to come in by breathing and allowing and flowing. This is now maybe a time to settle into rest and quiet. Hello, this is the whole purpose of this reading, is talking about the rest and quiet. And let something go, or perhaps it is time to start something new. And I think that something new is like something new that is in better alignment for you, that is more in line with your truth. Whatever stage of life you find yourself in, each of these stages brings wisdom and a gift for you. And it's time to go with the flow and work with the cycles of nature to help pull you through with the least resistance. Remember, I was talking about strangling the energy between the two of you and, you know, in your connection. This is the time to breathe, release, rest, and have quiet time and allow things to be orchestrated for you. Know that there's comfort in that. Things will fall into place. Brigid also works with those who are in the healing or medical field. She also in midwifery career, which I think is about birthing creativity as well. She also works with creative persons, artists, and artisans, so she may be encouraging you to flow into your own creative or healing practice if this is something you have been thinking about. Spending more time in nature. Hello. Spending more time in nature and aligning with its rhythms aids you in allowing things to unfold naturally in their own time. So I'll leave you with that. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. Again, if you're looking to work in a private session with me, you can book an appointment online. I do have weekend sessions, and I do have various sessions throughout the days and evenings during the week. So I look forward to connecting with you, and be well. Mwah. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.